Hello, my name is Jessa Ponce, and my TED Talk today is Finding Security Through Our Insecurities. So, think to yourself, if you were to change one thing about yourself right now, what would it be? Think, do you maybe feel sad or overwhelmed or maybe even angry by it? Well, don't worry. All of these emotions are completely valid. They are things that you and I feel day in and day out. But they are also things that we can consciously control by the things we tell ourselves and the things that we do. Well, why am I saying this? 3 years ago, that insecurity for me was my hair, or lack thereof. Long story short, when I was 16 years old, I shaved my head bald. But don't get me wrong, it wasn't always like this. In fact, growing up, I've always had a full head of hair. Even entering high school, I still had this full head of hair. So when the first bald patches started to arise in my sophomore year, I was scared. I went to the doctors for it, and they had told me it looked like something they call alopecia areata. And if you don't know what alopecia areata is, which don't worry, I didn't know at the time either. Alopecia areata is an autoimmune disease that essentially your immune system attacks your hair follicles, causing hair loss and sometimes even total baldness. And so this is what was happening to me. I remember looking at the mirror and telling myself, wow, I will never be the same. I don't feel beautiful. No one will understand. And I can say right now that this kind of thinking is destructive, but it totally took over my mind. It was kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy that only I got to see. Shortly thereafter, I remember thinking I was losing my hair and I couldn't do anything about it. I remember thinking, why now? Why me? And why when I'm in high school? I am a 15-year-old girl. It was definitely not conventional female beauty. But what did I do with all of this? I decided to hide. I hid. I hid away. I hid away in baseball caps, in beanies, in hoodies, anything that could cover up this part of me. And over the course of 3 months, starting from March, it progressed. And what started as a little pea-sized patch became 2 pea-sized patches, and then 3 golf ball-sized patches. And then the next thing I knew, my hair was messy and tangled on top of my head. The breaking point, though, was my 16th birthday. I spent all of my 16th birthday under the San Diego Padres cap. I felt like a facade near my friends and family, not being able to show this part of me. I was hiding my true self. But I think my biggest realization came after the fact from my 16th birthday. I was looking back at those pictures and I realized that, hey, you know what? All those people there, they aren't there because they pity you or they see you in a different light. They're there because they genuinely support you and they love you for who you are. And so with this, I realized that, I still had a support system. I still had all of this going for me. So I told myself, I am not my hair. I am not just one mere characteristic. Instead, I was still myself. I was still secure. And I was still loved. So what did I do after this? After gaining some courage from remembering that I still had a support system to fall back on. In April 2017, I decided to take the steps and In April 2017, I shaved my head bald at 16 years old. Yes, the feeling was scary. It was scary feeling those clippers on the side of my head, but the emotional feeling, oh boy, it was very freeing. It was freeing because I was no longer held down by the shackles of my hair and thinking, when will this? I was no longer held down by the shackles of my hair. And I could finally embrace the true me and my true self. And whoever said anything bad about me, well, that isn't a judgment of my character. That's a judgment of them and how they perceive normality in society. If I knew myself, I was secure, that's all I needed to get by. And so with this, I saw it as a new start. Reflecting back on those moments, I am very grateful to be able to look back at those moments and to get a lesson for you guys. And with this new start, I want to leave you guys off with what I call the 3 R's. The 3 R's are my kind of tips for dealing with our insecurities, for managing them, and finding security through them. The first R is realize. The second R is react. And the third R is reflect. The first R deals with realization. For me, realization was realizing that I still had a support system. I still had my friends and family. And so I think the biggest tip for this one is beauty comes from inside out, not outside within. And what I mean by this is it doesn't matter public opinion or what others think about what you should do with your own body. It is the beauty from within and our characteristics and what we do that shows truly how much we care. Realize that the only validation that you need is from yourself. And for me, without getting that validation from my friends and my family, all of that validation I needed in order to propel myself forward. With this, we can be confident despite what others think or what others think we should do. And this rolls over to my second point. Reaction. Reaction deals with consciously controlling our immediate actions to ourselves. After I shaved my head bald, I remember going out and reaching out to different leadership teams and getting involved through there. Getting involved in different aspects of my life, not really focusing on my hair, but using that motivation to propel myself to do other things. It made me feel good inside to know that I was still helping out people while still helping out myself. So my biggest tip for this one is start before you think you are ready. Because in retrospect, you will never be ready. You just have to get the ball rolling on your life for yourself. For me, it was shaving my head bald and then still going out to join all the leadership teams and be involved. For you guys, starting before you think you are ready, it might look like doing that one project you've been procrastinating on, or starting that one business idea. Or maybe if you're still in high school or college, working on that one assignment that you've been really meaning to do. Start before you think you are ready. Because if we can consciously control our actions, start before you think you are ready. Because if we can consciously control our actions and do what makes us satisfied, it will add more value to our lives. And this rolls on to the third tip. My third tip here is reflection. Reflection deals with how our past can help our future. What I mean by this is recognize What from the past? Think, was it your attitude? Was it your mindset? Or maybe the environment? What can we use from the past to hopefully make a present moment that you would desire and you would be grateful for? My tip for this one is our past can help our present. For me, this looked like reflecting back on those moments that I lost my hair to right now when I'm giving you guys this talk. Though luckily my hair grew back, without reflection, I wouldn't have been able to find the gratification in the moment to help me propel myself forward and to propel myself to tell my story to you guys as well. Without with reflection, it gives us confidence to find the relative milestones in our life, to celebrate ourselves. And so it doesn't matter whether you guys are in college, in high school, or maybe you're an adult dealing with some apparent insecurity. Don't worry. Everyone, all ages, sizes, no matter how you look, everyone has a certain insecurity. But they also have the capacity to take control. Because if ourselves, we need to remember that we are bold, we are brave, we are beautiful. I want to leave you guys with this one thing right now. Remember that our insecurities, they are a strength, not a weakness. And even though it feels like our insecurities are toppling us down, we can still take control of them by the things that we tell ourselves and the things that we do. Remember, in the face of our insecurities, we are still brave, we are still bold, and we can still overcome them. But most importantly, we can still be our best and most true selves despite our insecurities. Thank you.